Tonight, a quarterfinal that feels like a final that any Grand Slam will be happy to have. The current #1, Amelie Mauresmo, facing former #1, Lindsay Davenport. Combined, they have 74 career titles, more than $33 million in prize money. Battling for a spot in the semis here at the Pilot Pen, the final stop of this year's U.S. Open Series. Welcome to the Pilot Pen in New Haven on the campus of Yale University. A perfect evening for tennis here. The final stop on the U.S. Open Series and an attractive matchup. It is a rematch of last year's championship match here. Lindsay Davenport defeated Amelie Mauresmo on that night. I'm Chris Fowler. Welcome back to ESPN2's coverage of the final stop in this year's U.S. Open Series. What a matchup here in the quarterfinals. Lindsay Davenport, it's been a difficult 2006 for her, but she has precious few chances to get her game sharpened up for the U.S. Open. Her opponent, Amelie Mauresmo, has enjoyed the best year of her tennis life. Already 2 majors, Australia and Wimbledon, for Mauresmo. She's a different player than the one who lost all those previous matchups to Davenport. They are familiar rivals. Lindsay's dominated, but can Mauresmo turn the tables tonight? Perhaps awaiting the winner of this match in Justine Enardin. She's already through to the semifinals. She moved through in straight sets this afternoon over Mauresmo. Will it be another Enardin matchup against Mauresmo? They battle for the titles in Australia and at Wimbledon. Enardin still a win away from the finals. But Mauresmo and Davenport, Mary Jo Fernandez, set to battle for a spot in the Final Four. These players have met so many times before. This time, though, it's Lindsay with more rust to knock off, and Mauresmo's had the far better year. Absolutely.
I mean, Mauresmo's won 4 tournaments, but 2 of them have been Grand Slams, the Australian Open and Wimbledon. And if you question Mauresmo's win at the Australian, well, it was no fluke. She won Wimbledon. For Davenport, this is only her 5th tournament, and let me tell you, she had no bye because her rankings dropped to 11 in the world. We had so much depth in this tournament. 7 of the top 10 were here, so she had to show up early to get ready to play. But she's won 2 matches very handily. I think she looks sharp. Sam Stosur's ranked 36 in the world. She's a lucky loser. She lost in the last round of qualifying, but got lucky enough to get in, and now she waits for the winner of Mauresmo Davenport. Kuznetsova had a great win earlier today against Dementieva in 3 sets, and Enardin, playing in her first tournament since Wimbledon, I thought looked very sharp as well.
She's coming off the knee injury, missed a month, and she has dominated Kuznetsova 11-1 head-to-head. You'd have to believe that she's the favorite to get to the final here, and the winner of this match tonight would have to be the clear favorite to get there. But who's it going to be? I mean, Lindsay Davenport is that rare ball striker who can take about 5 months off and then come back in a couple of matches. Maybe the movement isn't quite there. Obviously keep a close eye on her back, Mary Jo, but the ball striking never leaves her.
No, it doesn't. I mean, she's got beautiful timing, and yesterday in her second round against the Italian Francesca Schiavone. Remember, Schiavone's ranked 15 in the world, has had a really consistent year, reaching 2 finals. Davenport, from the very beginning, she was taking the ball early. She was seeing it well. I thought she actually moved pretty well, and never gave Schiavone, the Italian, in the far court any time to get any sort of rhythm. Schiavone likes to hit the spins, the slices, but it was Davenport controlling the point. She had a little trouble closing out the sets. She got up 2 breaks quickly in the first and the second, but she had no trouble at the end. And her serve, which is a key for her, because that gives her confidence in her baseline game, was very effective.
Davenport has been able to kind of dictate play in the previous meetings against Mauresmo. Obviously, the clear edge for Amelie in the moving department. You can see that Davenport was dominant, didn't drop a set in the tournament here a year ago. And there is Mauresmo. Well, what a year in 2006, Mary Jo. At the beginning of the year, there was still the critics who said, she can't win the big one. The controversial win in Australia when Enardin retired after Mauresmo was dominating her. But then she really backed it up at Wimbledon, beating Enardin again in 3 sets, serving it out in such style.
And it wasn't only that final win. The semi, she beat Sharapova in 3 sets, and the belief was there, the confidence was there. I think she's playing an all-court game. She's defending when she needs to, but when she has to, she's moving in, she's being aggressive. The serve, I think, has improved, and I'm with you. She's walking differently out there. Now that she's won 2 majors, she's a different player.
Wouldn't it be incredible if she could go from having no career majors to perhaps winning 3 out of 4 in a year?
Nobody would have predicted that before the year started.
That's down the line. That's a bigger job ahead in New York. In the meantime, Mauresmo has her work cut out for her, trying to turn the tables head-to-head against Lindsay Davenport. Mary Jo will head to the booth to call this match with Cliff Drysdale. When we come back, this very high-powered quarterfinal match at the Pilot Pen in New Haven.
Pilot Pen Tennis is the first ever combined men's and women's summer tournament leading into the U.S. Open. And it's among the fastest growing tournaments in the world. By the end of this week, more than 100,000 people will have jammed this Connecticut Tennis Center, joining the millions that will be watching on television around the world. We've watched Pilot Pen champions go on to take center stage at the U.S. Open, and we expect this year will be no different. So sit back, enjoy the 2006 edition of Pilot Pen Tennis.
There's no one exactly like you. No one has the same financial goals or cares about the same people. That's why Raymond James Financial Advisors have the independence to offer unbiased advice that's right for you. And it's why we pioneered the idea of financial planning. You might say we're just as unique as you are. Raymond James, individual solutions from independent advisors.
ESPN2's presentation of the Pilot Pen, brought to you by Pilot Pen, simply right. Open, how American Express serves small business. And Lever 2000 with Vaseline lotion ingredients, the perfect match to refresh and replenish your skin.
Sunset and a beautiful Thursday here in Connecticut. The night session crowd hustling to get inside. It's starting a little bit late because the day session ran long, but these folks are eager to watch the current #1, Amelie Mauresmo, against former #1 and defending champion here, Lindsay Davenport, for a spot in the semifinals. To the broadcast booth, joining Mary Jo Fernandez, Mr. Cliff Drysdale.
Many thanks, Chris. And this is all about this tournament, of course. It's the Pilot Pen Tennis, but it is also about the U.S. Open Series, which leads to the U.S. Open, and it all begins on Monday. And the question is, has Lindsay Davenport played enough tennis this year to be a factor at the U.S. Open? MJ?
Well, has not played a lot of tennis, that's for sure. This is only her 5th tournament. She turned 30 a couple months ago. But is it enough? I think probably, because she has the experience. She's played enough matches in her career to draw from that.
Wasn't she #1 in the, sorry to interrupt, wasn't she #1 in the world going into the Australian this year?
Yes.
And so Amelie took it over from her.
Well, Kleister's got it briefly, and then it's been Mauresmo ever since, and rightfully so.
Jimmy Arias talked to Lindsay Davenport just before they walked out here.
Lindsay, you said your goal coming in was to reach the quarterfinals. Are you starting to rethink that goal now that you're here?
No, I mean, you know, I definitely wanted to get some matches under my belt, and now playing Amelie is obviously a great opportunity, #1 in the world, and, you know, I feel like I can go out tonight, swing away, and see what happens.
Well, you have a great record against her. What is it about her game that you seem to like so much?
I don't know. I mean, it's really weird how your career, you match up really well against some and not so well against others. But, you know, it's been a year. I think a lot has changed for her in that year as well. But, you know, I feel like I always try to take it to her and be real aggressive and not give her a lot of time. And, you know, it seems to work.
All right. Good luck. Thanks a lot, Lindsay.
Yeah, it seems to work just fine for her because she got this great record, 11-3, that we've been talking about. And it's been, let's see, the last time that Amelie beat her was in 2000.
10 in a row for Davenport.
And that is a huge factor, isn't it?
Oh,
Lindsay?
absolutely. A mental factor. But I do believe what we've been saying, and Lindsay just said it, it's been a different kind of year for Mauresmo.
Well, she was saying that yesterday to us, remember, when we were talking to her after a win. And she was sort of downplaying her chances because Amelie's done this and done that. But you've got to believe that with the kind of record that they have, that she's pretty confident deep down.
Just missing with the pass, but that's an example right away of the type of game that Davenport plays against Mauresmo. She knows she just can't stay in the baseline and let Mauresmo get that extra ball back. She's got to come forward, take some balls out of the air.
13-13.
She'll pick on the Mauresmo forehand on the big points. She knows that's been the weakness in Mauresmo's games through the years. But one thing I've been so impressed with in Mauresmo's game since she won the championships last year, beating Pierce in the final.
Year-ending championship.
Year-ending championships, where I think that's what turned it around for her. Is her ability to track balls
13.
down and get herself back in a point. I think she's playing better defense now in her career than she ever has, Mauresmo.
We watched that together, her winning that, and it wasn't only that championship match. She was brilliant for the entire year-ending championship, and it gave her the confidence.
40-30.
And she has walked the walk and talked the talk since then. Game point. First game.
Choose.
By the way, MJ, just so you know, since I had the afternoon off, I worked on my own keys of this match. I'm very interested to see what yours
If they
are.
match up to my keys?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see if you didn't nap through our telecast.
Advantage Mauresmo. Game Mauresmo.
Mauresmo holds first game. And let's take a look at the Libra 2000 keys to a perfect match. See if they match up to yours, Cliffy. I really feel that for Mauresmo, she's got to mix up her first serve. Not only get a high percentage in, but she's got to keep Lindsay guessing, turn a defensive point into an offensive point, and use the angles, open up the court, get Lindsay on the run. For Davenport, she's got to stay positive. She hasn't played a lot of tennis. She can't be too hard on herself if she's missing. Attack the
Lindsay
second serve,
Davenport
which she just tried to do. She missed. And come into net when she can. She's got to finish some points at the net. How'd I do?
Attack the second serve was like verbatim. A first strike effectiveness, and I think her serve percentages are going to be huge for Lindsay. For Amelie, I said that she's got to use a variety, basically the same thing that you said. I think that that the confidence of the championship that you already talked about, and carrying on with that, and then the two slams, is what's going to make this work best for her. And finally, artistry versus hard work. Amelie Mauresmo is an artist, and when an artist wakes up on the right side of the bed and is ready for a match, she can accomplish just about everything. But they've all got to be working for her.
We need to give you the day off more often, I think. That was some serious, deep thought.
That is Mary Jo's way of saying, what a load of nonsense. Game point.
Even though Mauresmo does not have a good record against Davenport, I feel this match is more important to Davenport going into the U.S. Open, trying to find her rhythm, her timing, her confidence. You know, Mauresmo, whether she wins or loses, she will be confident.
40-30.
I think Davenport is going to be a huge factor at the U.S. Open. She was #1 at this time of the year last year. You don't lose that and forget about it in a year. #1 and #2, I don't think the expectations are not on her, and I think she's going to creep through. Checking out her draw, MJ Srabotnik would be the first seed that she'd play. Then she'd play Patty Schneider in Ardennes, a tough one in the quarterfinals, but a winnable match for her. So if I were in her shoes right now, I'd be quietly confident. Game point.
Deuce.
She's the 10th seed. I remember the last time Davenport was seeded outside the top 5, and considering she's a 10th seed, I think she did draw a pretty good first few rounds. For Botnick, she beat here in the opening round. Schneider is the 7th seed, so that's her round of 16.
Advantage Davenport.
But
Which could have been a lot tougher.
it could have been much tougher. But I still feel that she needs to feel the confidence from this match. She needs to feel that she can play at the top of women's tennis right now, playing against the #1 in the world.
That is a really good observation. I mean, if you can beat Amelie Mauresmo,
Davenport.
that was a framer.
1 game on.
Talked about their lopsided head-to-head. Last time they played was on a fast, hard court indoors, 2-4 for Davenport. It's also a rematch of last year's final here. That was straight sets as well, 4-4. Early return by Davenport. They've actually played a lot on this court.
115.
Look at that. It's their 5th meeting at the Pilot Pen. Not drop the set here. Davenport.
you talk a lot
130.
about matchups between people, and you heard Lindsay saying that her game matches up well with Mauresmo. It's true, isn't it?
It sure has in the past, and it's interesting because Mauresmo has good success against Sharapova. Has never lost to Sharapova. Similar game styles to Davenport, but for some reason, not the same outcome. I think Lindsay has the ability to finish more points at the net than Sharapova, and that puts a lot of pressure
15.
on
30.
Mauresmo. You know, and over the last few years, I've asked coaches when they play Davenport or Sharapova or Williams sisters who they fear the most, and the majority of them will say Davenport. They feel that she hits the heaviest ball out of all the power hitters.
More so than the Williams sisters and Sharapova.
That you don't have that time to prepare, to get situated, to hit your shots.
You know what it is, MJ? It's the flat ball hitter. He hits it so flat and caresses it. I mean,
13, 14.
such a sweet hitter of the ball. Break points for her now against Mauresmo's serve.
That last return right away puts Mauresmo on her heels. And now Mauresmo knows she doesn't get a good second serve, and Davenport will attack it again.
And that's right, and there's the break for
Davenport.
serve to Lindsay Davenport. Deja vu. We're going to be the same all over again here at the Pilot Pen. Early break. She'll serve at 2-1.
Dun, 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 dun. Du, 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 du. Dun, dun.
Drop everything. Toyota's nationwide clearance event is on now. Check out the roomy Tundra Double Cab. And it's a great time to buy the unstoppable Tundra. Right now, get $299 a month for 36 months with $699 due at signing on Tundra Double Cab. Or get $2,500 customer cash or 0% APR for 48 months on the rugged Tundra. And get $2,000 customer cash on the versatile 4Runner. The clock's ticking. Catch the Toyota Time nationwide clearance event today. Toyota, moving forward.
Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer during the Cadillac Summer Event.
Early break, so she's got a 2-1 lead, and she'll be serving here. This is the best of 3. Obviously, it's the quarterfinal of this championship. And as you and Chris Fowler were saying earlier, Mary Jo, this is a match that, I mean, there's so much more than this. This could be a final of a tournament. It's only because Lindsay Davenport has been out for so much of this year that this is a quarterfinal, not a final.
That's right. I mean, rarely would you see this kind of matchup in the quarterfinals. Lindsay's ranking has dropped to 11 in the world. This is only her 5th tournament, her 2nd tournament since March. Remember, in March, she hurt her back at the Pacific Life.
Jimmy Arias at courtside. Jimmy, we were talking yesterday about the flat ball hitters, and Lindsay's one of those, isn't she?
Well, Adam Peterson, her coach, one of the reasons that she does so well against Mauresmo is because she hits that flat ball and because Mauresmo likes to block the return or not really be very aggressive with the return of serve. And it allows Lindsay to gain control of the point right away, just like she has in this point. And that's why the matchup's so good for her in general. Oh, hands from Lindsay.
Good defense by Mauresmo, almost getting the ball by Davenport, but look at her instincts, tracking the cross-court shot and keeps her racket face in front. She's been 1 in the world in doubles, and that's why she has such good feel at the net.
Mauresmo's they're both pretty accomplished doubles players.
Mauresmo's more natural when she moves forward. And she'll use the serve and volley maybe a little bit more. We saw her do that a lot at Wimbledon this year. Misses that one, but again, she puts herself in the right position. She hits the ball so big off the ground that half the time they're pretty easy volleys or swing volleys that she has to make.
Another part of her game when she's playing well that maybe doesn't get enough credit. She's got a very good serve. She's tall and strong. Look, the issue with Lindsay is that she doesn't move that well. But she makes up with it with this flat ball hitting, which is very difficult to counteract because the ball stays low.
Game Davenport. Davenport leads 3 games to 1.
3-1 for Davenport.
Well, movement's definitely still a weakness in Davenport's game, but it's something that she's worked on a lot over the last few years, and her ability to get a few more balls back that she didn't in the past have really helped Davenport.
MJ, it's made a huge difference, and she doesn't move poorly, but compared to a mover like Mauresmo, it is an issue for her. But
for sure.
As I said, it is more than balanced in this matchup anyway by the way she hits the ball.
She's here with her physical trainer, as well as Adam Peterson, Todd Norman, who works with Lindsay back home in California. And they were in the gym this morning.
How do you know?
13 all.
I know all these things, the inside scoop.
Were you there?
No. Were you there?
That would be a negative.
Well played by Mauresmo. A sign that Lindsay felt pretty confident in her game yesterday is she's playing the night match, and she only wanted to hit the one time today. Sometimes if you're not feeling great with your time, you said, oh, well, maybe I should go hit in the morning. But instead, Davenport just had a little bit of a workout and came out and warmed up for the match in the afternoon.
Have to do anything about that.
30 all.
Because she's so tall, this topspin doesn't really hurt Davenport so much. It was too short in the court, and Davenport just had to step into it.
Late first serve.
Does get nicely into her strike zone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's probably more effective for Mauresmo to slice it, to keep it low and make Davenport bend. It's a good serve.
40-30.
Better stretching as well.
Yeah, it's a good serve by Mauresmo. She holds for the second time. She's been broken once. Lindsay Davenport has not yet. She'll serve when we come back. 3-2 lead.
ESPN College Game Day. Saturdays now starting at 10 a.m.
We gave it a 4.6-liter V8 with enhanced horsepower and torque for greater towing capacity. The new 7-passenger GL. It's more Mercedes to love.
Unstoppable. Like a Waltrip is, so is his Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
The U.S. Open Series. Road trip.
The greatest road trip in sports.
10 cities.
6 weeks.
$2 million on the line.
All broadcast live. Indianapolis.
Stanford.
L.A. Cincinnati. And then the U.S. Open.
Don't miss a single stop.
What am I bringing?
My guns. My headband.
My bling. Duh.
And the U.S. Open Series will be bringing Lever 2000 to every stop. Lever 2000 with Vaseline lotion ingredients. It's the perfect match for your skin.
Unstoppable. Sasha Cohen is. So is her Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
We gave it over 80 cubic feet of cargo space, so you have room for anything. And everything.
Hans?
The new 7-passenger GL. It's more Mercedes to love.
The title has been celebrated. Now questions surrounding the Steeler repeat run. Is Big Ben ready to go? Is this Bill Cowher's last season? The Eagles' Donovan McNabb is TO free and healthy. Can he bring the Birds back to the Super Bowl? The Battle of Pennsylvania at 8 Eastern on a special Friday edition of ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Getting all psyched up for the football season, everybody. And Mary Jo, a big fan of the Miami Dolphins, in spite of the fact that she has moved elsewhere in the country to Cleveland, 3-2. Lindsay Davenport. And Jimmy has some thoughts. Jimmy?
Yeah, I've been running around looking for coaches, and I ran into Loïc Courteau, Amelie Mauresmo's coach, before the match, and I said, you know, your pupil has lost 10 times in a row to Lindsay. What's she going to try different tonight? And he said she's not going to try anything different. We're going to save that for maybe a possible matchup at the U.S. Open. Instead, we're just going to play the way we've always played her and just try to get some practice, because she hasn't played since Wimbledon. She hasn't played many matches. He was happy that she went 3 sets in her first round. He said the more tennis, the better. So I don't expect to see much attacking, which is what I think she needs to do to get control of some of these points, get to net. She has the weapons, Mauresmo, but she doesn't really use them when she plays Lindsay.
Jimmy, if they play at the Open, it'll be in the final.
Well, he's worried about it. Obviously, he thinks Davenport's got a shot.
Well, as you've heard, I don't disagree with that. Take a look at Amelie's draw, though, MJ. She, I mean, Ivanovic would be a tough one for her, right?
All right, Serena's in that little section with Ivanovic and Hantuchova, so tough matchups. Ivanovic, if she were to get to the round 16, has given Mauresmo trouble in the past.
30-11.
You know what? Serena is not seeded, and I didn't see it. Thanks for bringing that up. So it could well be Mauresmo and Serena, right? In the round of 16.
It could be. So the top players that didn't want to see Serena, it was Mauresmo who drew her closest. You know, so interesting. In the past, it was just a given. When Serena played, you could just pencil her in for the next round. Now we got to go match by match. And yes, she's played 2 tournaments, Serena, this summer, and reached the semifinal. And I think she looked in pretty good shape and fitter and actually hitting the ball well. Let's see now how it translates into a major.
Game Davenport.
Lindsay holds, and it's 4-2. I agree with you that
What
you just said, MJ. But in the matches that she lost, she also kind of loses control of her game sometimes, Serena, and she pays the price because that fear factor that the rest of the field had against her doesn't exist anymore. What about Hingis? She could get the quarterfinals.
She's in the same quarter
as Mauresmo
in winnable matches. Tough first round against Peng Shuai of China, but very winnable matches.
15-11.
One of my keys was for Lindsay to stay positive, and shots like that can frustrate her, but she hit the right shot. She was going for the right play. Another big forehand setting up the short approach shot. All her winners for Davenport coming from the forehand.
Game Mauresmo.
Mauresmo holds, broken one time so far. That may be all that Lindsay Davenport needs. We'll see. She'll serve at 4-3.
Get inside the tour with ATPTennis.com and Tennis Warehouse. ATPTennis.com is your best online source for tennis info. Tennis Warehouse is the ultimate equipment website. Click on the Tennis Warehouse link to find the best selection of tennis equipment at guaranteed lowest prices. Get the gear used and worn by ATP pros, including rackets from Head and apparel from Nike and Adidas. Even strings, bags, and grips. Tennis Warehouse has it all. Tennis Warehouse, the ultimate equipment website. ATPTennis.com, your connection to professional tennis.
I consider myself a fairly generous person. I mean, I didn't think I had a problem. I'm really a very sharing person. Hungry? Here's half my sandwich. Need a ride? Hop in. My favorite dress? Here, just take it. I mean, I share just about everything.
May I?
The unique Liquid Ink Pilot Precise Rolling Ball Pen. Once you try it, it's hard to let go.
You want to talk about it?
The Pilot Precise. Simply right.
I have an innate fear of being boxed in. That's why I left the corporate world. I wanted to create something. But dreams don't pay the overhead. Believers do.
Being open-minded is what led Chris to start his business and why we gave him financing 2 years before his bank would. Open, how American Express serves small business.
Quickly, please.
Lindsay Davenport with the break, 4 games to 3. The road trip, as James Blake says, road trips coming to an end, and it all leads to the big apple and the year ending, at least the season ending here at the US Open, which starts on Monday, and you can get the latest scores and standings and schedule at usopenseries.com. Again, usopenseries.com.
And the top 3 finishers have been decided already on both the men and the women's side. Andy Roddick clinching the men with his win in Cincinnati. Anna Ivanovic on the women's side with her big win in Montreal over Hingis, wins the ladies.
Andy Roddick was out. I mean, he was injured in LA and was out for 2 weeks and still wins the US Open Series. That's pretty strong. Have a good sense for, I mean, I have a good feeling about Andy Roddick at the Open as well, because I think he's playing now, again, the right kind of way. He's coming into the net a lot more than he ever has before. And I think that's his strategy, or should be.
He's taking advantage of his weapons. His serve, his forehand. He's played a little closer to the baseline and is really hitting the ball again.
Game Davenport.
Lindsay Davenport holds and
Davenport leads 5 games to 3.
got a 5-game-to-3 lead. But look at that on the baseline, was very close, but a good call. Wouldn't waste a challenge on that one because 40 love anyway. All right, 3-5. It's important for Lindsay's game to tell Amelie, look, things haven't changed. I mean, just
you
because
might
you're
have won
number
Wimbledon,
one.
exactly, and won Wimbledon doesn't mean that I'm going to let up here.
And the Australian, but let me just put you in your place again.
And she's so far been able to do that. The only thing she had trouble with yesterday, Lindsay, was closing out the sets. She got a little tentative. But it seems to me that when Davenport plays Mauresmo, she's so clear with what she needs to do. It's almost automatic. And even though she hasn't played a lot of tennis, she knows second serve, I'm hitting, I'm looking to come in. After I hit my first serve, I'm inside the court looking to attack right away. There's no hesitation.
It helps a lot when you're not second guessing yourself, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Game point, Mauresmo. There's only been one break point in this match, which Davenport converted.
Okay, Mauresmo.
It'll jog to the sideline for Amelie Mauresmo. She's still got a good attitude,
It's 5 games to
but she's got to get a break coming up, or this set's over.
Mondays, usually the day weekend projects are put on hold. It's another day of that one guy asking,
How was your weekend?
and you saying too short, and him saying,
I hear that.
but Monday Night Football is coming to ESPN, and soon Mondays will mean that one guy asking,
Where you watch the game tonight?
and you saying at the crib, and him saying,
Cool if I roll by?
and you saying no. So look on the bright side. This Monday is one Monday closer to Monday Night Football.
DSL, not for me. It's not so fast. DSL, I don't think so. My dad tried to send Grandma some pictures. I heard Daddy say a bad word. My friend Timmy, he has a cable modem. It comes through the cable. This thing is fast. It's really fast. It's fast as lightning. Cable's cool.
Get Charter High Speed for just $19.99 per month for 3 months. Call 1-888-GET-CHARTER today.
Do you know what's in this box? Of course you don't. You have no idea. Do you know if you're paying what you should be for car insurance? Of course you don't. You have no idea. But I do, thanks to Progressive Direct's rate comparisons. You can call or go online, and Progressive Direct will tell you the rates the other companies will charge you. Now you can compare, because you're not in the dark. Mire, nachos. Think easier. Think Progressive.
Lindsay Davenport about to serve the first set here. She's taken on the world's #1, Amelie Mauresmo. Having said that, she was the world's #1 in January and was injured. She was out actually for 5 months. Summer of Aces continues. In fact, it'll continue through the U.S. Open. American Express donating $50 to the USDA Tennis and Education Foundation for every one of those aces served during the U.S. Open series. What are we up to? 129,400 so far. So looks like we'll probably overtake that by the end of the Open. If Andy Roddick wins it, for sure.
For sure.
Anyway, it's a really, really good program. Helps kids play tennis and get an education. Worthwhile effort.
15 love.
15 love serving for the set.
Let's add another $50. Another ace from Davenport. Oof, right in the corner. A little more tentative in that rally, Davenport, not really going after her forehand, content to just get it deep. Only the 5th point she loses on serve this set.
Oh. Down the line, sweep forehand.
13-30.
That was just either on the line or barely inside. Another look.
Oh, it's a tough call. Foot fault. Would have been point to Davenport. Instead, second serve.
Ooh, close. Lindsay doesn't seem to be
30.
disturbed by the spin. You know, Mauresmo's hitting the slice, and then she hits the topspin. Topspin doesn't get up high enough to disturb her, as you've already pointed out. But the slice, she seems to hit that early enough to where it's not a huge issue.
Well, it's interesting. Jimmy reported about how she likes that Mauresmo blocks the return. She's able to take control early. A lot of players have difficulty with that return. This one right here. Because they're forced to generate their own pace.
40, 30.
Which doesn't seem to be a problem for Lindsay.
Not for Davenport.
Set point.
Late first serve. Cheers. Advantage Davenport.
Set point again.
Cheers.
The slice once again. Hitting the error from Davenport on the forehand. That would be the side that would break down a little bit more.
Advantage Davenport.
Missed a couple of really bad forehands in this game.
Yeah.
Because she's got herself, Mauresmo, into a position to challenge. You know how tight you can get when you're serving for the set. Third set point.
Cheers.
Davenport will be the first to tell you when you're out of the game for a little bit, the toughest thing is the big points, closing out sets and matches. What normally is automatic and you don't think about, you start to worry about a little bit.
Advantage Davenport.
Now, you're not saying that that those are not pressure times even when you are playing a lot.
True. Even more so when you haven't been playing.
Huge ace. That's her fifth.
How short of the service box that serve landed.
Set point. I think that was called a fault, and I'd be surprised if she didn't challenge, and she has.
So give her the set.
All eyes in the stadium on this. It's on the line, and it's the set. The set one on a challenge.
Game and first set Davenport.
And that is a huge point, make no mistake. Because that was her fourth set point. 6-4.
We gave it a body reinforced with ultra-high-strength steel for greater safety. The new 7-passenger GL. It's more Mercedes to love.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Sergio, that's a 7.
I know.
We're like 120 yards out.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you're not gonna like it. Nice shot.
If this is the way you play, this is your beer. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of Sergio Garcia.
That's 3 times this week, Sergio.
I know.
Here at the Chic Shave Lab, we have been testing the new Chic Quattro Titanium in simulated social environments to see if it really is off the easy.
3, 2, 1.
Off the easy, indeed.
New Chic Quattro Titanium stays sharp to give you a close, smooth shave with less irritation than the leading brand. It's the only razor with 4 advanced blades made with titanium.
New Chic Quattro Titanium, the power of 4 meets titanium.
We gave it unit body construction and a 7-speed transmission for greater handling and performance. The new 7-passenger GL. It's more Mercedes to love.
Closing on in the final few days of the U.S. Open Series, everybody. This is Pilot Pen Tennis. We've been using throughout this U.S. Open Series the instant replay challenges, and go through the rules for you again. You get 2 challenges per set, an additional one in the tie break, and you can keep using them if you are correct in your challenges, and you cannot carry them over from one set to the next. And Lindsay Davenport was not a big fan of this system, but now she is.
Time. I think that the replay system has been great. I was actually, against it in the beginning. I'm more of a traditionalist and felt like, you weren't really sure how it was going to work. But in my experience with it and by watching so much tennis on TV, I think it's worked great. I think as a player's mind, it puts you at ease that on a big point, it's not going to be kind of stolen from you. You still have your opportunity to change a possibly bad call. And I think that they're doing it very timely. It doesn't slow play down. And it puts a little bit in the player's hands. You can't always be complaining. It stops some of the whiners from always whining about line calls and just looking for an excuse to get mad at the official. I think it's worked really, really well.
And I bet you she thinks it worked even better on set point.
15 love, first game, second set.
That's why it's so huge. On a big point, like a set point, you get the call right.
30-11.
First double of the match for either player.
Amelie Mauresmo holds, so she's got 1 game to love in the second set. She is a wine connoisseur, and I have some trivia for you, MJ. You're not going to be able to answer this because I know you're not a wine drinker. 1945, 47, 59, and 61. I have something in common
well,
there
let's
with
ask Jimmy.
No, he's not going to know either. The four best years.
He's older.
The four best years in the last century of Bordeaux wine, and Amelie was invited up to Chateau Latour, which is the most famous winery in that district. And they opened bottles from all of those years in her honor because she won a slam. She had been there a year before, and they said, "Come on, if you win another one, come on up." So she was enjoying a little vacation down in the southwestern part of France. Yannick Noah was there as well. They're very good friends, the two of them. She took up tennis because of Yannick Noah.
It's her hero.
And she has her own wine cellar in Switzerland with some really obviously expensive wines.
She did a little wine tasting yesterday here at the Pilot Pen. And I believe she served it, was not really tasting it herself, but enjoyed it.
30-15.
Anyway, she chopped it up to the wine country with Louis Courteau, her coach. So there are advantages to being the coach of somebody who's a wine, because you get to taste all those great years of Bordeaux.
40-15.
You know, she injured her groin a little bit during Wimbledon, which was not generally known.
Mauresmo.
Yes, she took 3 weeks off, went down to that part of France. Which is close to the Spanish border. And then she was supposed to come back, as you know, and play in Montreal, but she had then developed a shoulder problem. So she pulled out of that. So this is her first event since Wimbledon. Deuce. Second game, second set.
Cheers.
If you want to know how I know all of that stuff about the wine, it was Alain Defasselot, who writes for L'Equipe. He's one of the really great journalists in this game. And I think he knows more about Amelie than she knows, because he's constantly following her.
What accuracy with the location of that serve from Davenport, her 7th ace. And the serve has been a major factor so far in this match for Davenport.
Game Davenport.
Lindsay holds, and it's one apiece.
1 game on.
Alain also told me while we were talking about her that she and Yannick Noah are really great friends, and he said that, did you know that a few months ago they had a poll of, a legitimate poll in Paris, and that Yannick Noah is the most popular man in all of France, including all politicians, sports people, soccer players, anything.
Well, he's also a singer, right?
A singer, exactly. That's why. Good point.
Well, the crowd really enjoying the quality of tennis. Great reflexes at the net by Mauresmo, doing all she can to stay in the rally, but Davenport keeping the ball so low, the passing shots at Mauresmo's feet.
Mauresmo is quick, but not that quick.
Love 13.
Oh! Line ball. I mean, she's quick. And that time she used it beautifully. A huge point at love 30. Because this is where she lost her serve in the first set.
And she's absorbing the power and a tremendous forehand on the run. And showed a lot of emotion afterwards. She might be relaxed about this match, but she wants to win.
Break points. Why did you say that she's relaxed about this match?
Well, what Jimmy reported earlier about the coach, Louis Courteau, saying, I'm not going to really try anything differently, just see what happens, get ready for the U.S. Open. I think she is relaxed. But at the same time, she wants to figure out a way to beat Davenport, and she wants to have even more confidence.
Break point. Oh, that is good.
30-14.
You might want to remember this point if there's a turning point in this match, because that returner serve was played about as well as Lindsay Davenport could play it, and Mauresmo not only got there but hit that forehand very close to the baseline. No turning point because Lindsay got the break anyway. Been here before, haven't we? 2-1 with the break. Second set.
Olympus may be a familiar face, but Olympus is also a world leader in research in clinical microscopes and diagnostics. Created the first camera that let doctors look inside the human body. And we continue to introduce life-altering imaging technologies for healthcare professionals. We're proud of these accomplishments, but we're most proud of how we enrich lives around the world every day.
It was the day of the big presentation. I'm taking so many notes, my hand's cramping up. This is the biggest account of my life, and my fingers look like pretzels. I can't write, I can't think.
Get a grip. Dr. Grip from Pilot. Smooth writing and a big cushioned barrel. It's the prescription for smooth, easy writing.
I need a prescription?
Get a grip. Dr. Grip from Pilot. Simply right.
They can make you rich or poor. They're your customers. So in our business, we don't just create games. We create a bond and hope someone will treat us the same way.
Open Arms. It's how Jen and Julie approach their customers. And why during peak season, we raise their credit line overnight. Open. How American Express serves small business.
Setting a break to Lindsay Davenport, and let's go down to Jimmy with Louis.
Louis, tell me about your thoughts on the match so far.
Well, I think it's a very good match. I think Lindsay is playing very, very good. Very good first set, and unfortunately she don't miss at the beginning of the second set, so it started to be very tough for Amelie. I think she has to keep going and wait maybe that few mistakes.
Is there anything she can do more tactically to change this match around?
Well, I think now maybe she has to maybe try to go more often to the net, because from the baseline Lindsay is maybe too good today. So she has to take more opportunity if she has the opportunity.
Okay, thanks a lot, Louis. Good luck.
I like that one.
Yeah, well done, Jimmy. If she has the opportunity.
Right.
Is that what you like?
You said opportunity. Take the opportunity if she has the opportunity.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a tricky thing, you know. Yes, get to net more, but you better get to net off something good.
15 love.
And Lindsay passes well, very well.
That's
You
right.
give her a target. So if you come in, you got to come in behind something pretty good.
Number 8. The serve has really given Davenport the freedom to be even more aggressive on the return game.
40-15.
She has 8 aces. Serving at 67% for the match, winning 73% of her first serves and 67% of her second serves.
No, that's wide. And Davenport holds, so she's got a 3-1 lead in the second set. Won the first set behind 1 break, 6-4.
Leads 3 games to 1.
USOpenseries.com is a good spot to stop if you want to check on the latest scores and player standings, although they have been decided now, because this is the final few days of the US Open Series. It has been fun for us covering it. I hope it has been as much fun for you to be alongside us. Again, USOpenseries.com. It's been going on for 6 weeks and 10 tournaments.
$15 love. $30 love. $30-15.
A little bit of musical chairs for the number 1 this year, MJ, but here are the last 4 players ranked number 1.
This time last year, almost, Sharapova held it for the first time in her career. Davenport ended the year number 1. Kim Clijsters briefly had it after the Australian Open, and Mauresmo's been number 1 since March.
Do we still have that graphic on Lindsay Davenport and her, where she's ended up the last few years?
I'm sure we do. Despite not winning a major since 2000, her game has been so consistent.
Pretty impressive.
And so close. She's been in finals of majors and knocking on the door, that she's been able to finish the last 2 years number 1 in the world.
Take a look at that.
Very impressive.
And then she had that surgery after 2001, right?
Knee surgery. Look how she got back to the top.
Let's first serve.
So would she have stayed up there at number 1 for those years, or I mean, we had Williams sisters, and then we had Russians, and then the Belgians, right, challenging her. Who knows?
Cheers.
Well, Davenport only needed 1 break to win the first set. And it could be enough in the second, but Mauresmo needs to hold on here. The way that Davenport's serving, 2 breaks I think would be too much.
Advantage Mauresmo.
Yeah, Mauresmo hasn't had a break point yet. But she did make Lindsay earn it in that 10th game of the first set when she served for it.
Cheers.
Mauresmo's only been able to get to net 5 times in this match, Cliff.
And her coach wants her to be able to get in more.
Advantage Mauresmo.
That just shows you how tough it is against Davenport, against the power and the depth and the heavy hitting to create an opportunity to get up there. Davenport, on the other hand, has been in more. You don't expect that.
Game Mauresmo.
Struggle, but Amelie Mauresmo holds. Davenport to serve with a break. Second set when we come back.
Honey, which color do you like better, the white or the ivory?
Well,
Oh,
counters.
look, this one comes with a crumb tray.
Riveting stuff, isn't it? Which one will she go for? Yeah, this is far more suspenseful than us analyzing two powerhouses colliding in Austin. Isn't that right, guys? Man, I hope she goes for the crumb tray.
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, now starting at 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday.
Hi, I'm the person who didn't save hundreds of dollars by switching car insurance. Yep, I'm the guy. Must be, because every day they tell me about a bazillion people who switched on TV, radio, billboards. They show me entire stadiums worth of people who switched. But Progressive Direct shows you side-by-side comparisons of competitors' rates and services, so you can see if their services are worth the savings. Those gazillion people should call Progressive, because no one likes to be wrong. Think easier. Think Progressive.
He's got the looks. He's got the charm. Unfortunately,
Live with your parents.
Matthew McConaughey.
Is there a problem? No.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
He's smart, sweet. He's cute too. How cute? Cute.
Failure to launch.
Got any more chip downstairs?
I didn't get to the store, but you could go.
Something's wrong with your mom.
It's going to take a stick of dynamite to get me out of my parents' house.
Rated PG-13.
Tune to Channel 999 to watch this movie right now with Charter on Demand.
Lindsay Davenport has the break in the second set against the top seed here, Amelie Mauresmo. I mentioned they've played a few times here at this Pilot Pen, and Mauresmo has never been able to beat Lindsay.
$13. Coach.
Deciding how much to play is such a huge issue before a major. Do you play the whole US Open series? Is that too much? In Lindsay's case, is it too little that she has played so few tournaments this year because of a back injury? I'm really inclined to think this is really good preparation for Lindsay now, especially if she wins here again.
Again, Davenport moving in, keeping the left hand on the racket for a little extra control.
All good.
40-15.
I think the older you get, Cliff, the less you need to be out there day in, day out. I think
good point.
You have enough in the memory bank for the big tournaments, but you still want to feel confident. You still want to know that you can hit your favorite shot when it matters most. And that's why I think if Agassi is healthy at the Open, I think he can make a little bit of a run there. Tough lob there from Mauresmo. I think Agassi's biggest issue is his movement because of his hip, and if he feels that he can get around the court, he's hit enough balls.
Deuce in this game. Let's just clarify for everybody, just in case we got some new viewers, that Andre Agassi said that US Open's his last tournament. And he's had these hip issues now for the last couple of years, actually. He's been taking cortisone shots intermittently. And he doesn't have a good draw. He's got Andre Pavel in the first round.
That miss brings up break point for Mauresmo for first. But Baghdadis was upset here yesterday, clip to Soderling. He was a little bit erratic in that match.
Tough match anyway, no matter what.
No matter what.
Semi-finalist at Wimbledon, finalist at the Australian. Break point here, second serve coming up. First chance for Mauresmo. Oh!
New balls, please. 3-game point.
Terrific backhand on the rise. Look at the preparation, the shoulder turn, the way she follows through. Just kept her eye on the ball throughout that shot. She finally gets the break point and wins the game. And
do you see how she stays sideways on that backhand too? It's the same thing that N.R. Den does. It's the same thing that Roger Federer does. On the one-handed backhand I'm talking about. And it's a really important lesson for any player with a one-handed backhand, not with two, because you do have the shoulder rotation in two with the two hands.
It's easier to stay turned with two hands.
Love 30.
You really have to think about it on the one-handed backhand.
You do have to think about it, but watch this, how she stays down. Look, okay, see all that shoulder turn, and now it's the arms from here. Let it go a little bit further. See how it's the arm there, and then eventually the shoulders turn, but that's because of the momentum of the swing. So stay sideways if you're a one-hander. $15-30 now.
And the mistake a lot of people do is they open up too soon.
Exactly.
Not the case with Mauresmo.
$15-30 at 3-3. Oh, that's
boy.
the danger with coming in.
Didn't hit it enough away from Davenport. Davenport had to take one little step, and then boom. Break points for Davenport now.
Lindsay just keeps so much pressure on because she hits that ball so flat and so hard. So Davenport gets another break. She'll serve at 4-3.
Mondays, usually the day weekend projects are put on hold. It's another day of that one guy asking,
how was your weekend?
And you saying too short, and him saying,
I hear that.
but Monday Night Football is coming to ESPN, and soon Mondays will mean that one guy asking,
Where you watch the game tonight?
and you saying at the crib, and him saying,
Cool if I roll by?
and you saying no. So look on the bright side. This Monday is one Monday closer to Monday Night Football.
Unstoppable. Like a Waltrip is, so is its Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
Olympus may be a familiar face, but Olympus is also a world leader in research in clinical microscopes and diagnostics. Created the first camera that let doctors look inside the human body. And we continue to introduce life-altering imaging technologies for healthcare professionals. We're proud of these accomplishments, but we're most proud of how we enrich lives around the world every day.
Unstoppable. Sasha Cohen is. So is her Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
ESPN 2 is what you're watching, everybody. We're coming to you on HD as well, brought to you by Hitachi. And you're watching quarterfinal of the women's singles at the Pilot Pen for this year. It's part of the US Open Series, presented by Lever 2000. And Amelie Mauresmo is the top seed and #1 player in the world. She comes off winning 2 Grand Slams, the Wimbledon Championships, and before that, obviously, the Australian. But she lost the first set 6-4. She's down 4-3 to Lindsay Davenport. Justine Enarden still alive. She'll play Kuznetsova in the semifinals. The winner of this match will take on Samantha Stosur of Australia.
Stosur beat Davenport a couple weeks ago in Davenport's only tournament prior to this one this summer in 3 sets.
all.
15 all. If Enarden wins the US Open, and they both don't get through the, and both don't win a match in the year-ending championship, who's #1?
That's a tough one. 2 slams each. Probably have to go on their head-to-head for the year.
Well, I was thinking that, but yeah, probably would have to. Heads up. 15-30. Oh, that's wide. And now Amelie Mauresmo has another chance. Suddenly, Mauresmo is competitive on Davenport's serve. Until the last time that Davenport served, she had not had a break point. Break back. 4 apiece. Jimmy?
Yeah, what's happening, guys, is that Lindsay's getting just a little less severe with her shots when she's been close to closing this out on her own serve. Suddenly not quite going for the lines, giving Mauresmo a chance to hit an aggressive shot. And as soon as she's able to take advantage of a few of those less severe shots, Davenport really doesn't have any defensive skills to speak of, and that's why she's been able to break a couple of times. It's a subtle difference, but there is a little difference in the shots that Davenport has hit the last 2 times she served. She's been a little more careful.
And I also think her second serve, Jimmy, has been a little shorter.
Yeah, all of her shots have been a little shorter, except now on the return games, the last couple of games, she's, I guess, realized, boy, I've got to keep up the pressure. And once she hits a ball that deep and flat, Mauresmo has had trouble with it, especially on the forehand side.
Love 30.
And even though Lindsay owns Mauresmo in their head-to-head, this is a huge mental match for Davenport. She's been out a long time playing against the Wimbledon champion, trying to find her game, find her rhythm going into the U.S. Open. This would be an enormous boost for Davenport to have this win tonight.
So you could have said the Australian Open champ.
Love 40.
You could have said the hottest player on the tour because she's #1 in the world. But it's Wimbledon that matters, huh?
Exactly. The last major.
Break points. 4-5-4. Yeah, playing fearlessly, or is she? We'll see how fearless she is when she serves for the match, right? 6-4 first set, 5-4.
5 games to 4.
The ESPN.com Fantasy Football Guide on newsstands now.
Eric missed almost a year of school because of drugs. He's not a bad kid, but last year he got in trouble. He got cancer. But with innovative new drugs and therapies developed at City of Hope, Eric survived. Today, nearly 80% of all young cancer patients survive. Eric's back in school, where he belongs. Yeah, we think that's something to smile about.
I have an innate fear of being boxed in. That's why I left the corporate world. I wanted to create something. But dreams don't pay the overhead. Believers do.
Being open-minded is what led Chris to start his business and why we gave him financing 2 years before his bank would. Open, how American Express serves small business.
Lindsay Davenport's about to serve for the match against the #1 seed, Amelie Mauresmo. For a spot in the semifinals to take on Samantha Stosur. Pressure's on.
Love 15.
Great approach shot from Mauresmo, perhaps the best one of the match. Kept it low towards the sideline, really forced Davenport to stretch out wide. Davenport's lost her last 2 service games and in trouble again.
(13-13).
That's why
13,
chances
14.
here for Mauresmo again. It's unbelievable how things have turned around here. There have been 6 service breaks in this match. And wasn't it just 20 minutes ago that we were saying it looked like 1 break per set would be enough?
Davenport was totally dominating her service games.
Mauresmo.
5 straight breaks. I don't know anybody would have bet on that.
You know, one thing I've noticed with Mauresmo since she's been #1 and won the majors, she doesn't panic. You never see on her face, you could never tell whether she was winning or losing. Hangs in there, and even when she's let some leads slip away, she's found a way to get him back. A lot more calm.
Love 15.
It's what winning a couple of majors does for you, doesn't it?
I guess.
Love 13.
She's in trouble again. This would be the 6th straight break of serve.
Incredible.
She's, you know, you mentioned panic, Mary Jo. I agree with you, and her personality is so outgoing and friendly. There's no panic there either. And she had this reputation, you know, for choking in big matches, yada yada.
Love 14.
She's such a well-balanced personality. They both are. Break points.
Davenport.
Well, so Mary Jo throws her arms up as if to say, what's this?
Tennis. You can't get enough of it. Do you want to get closer to the game? Here's the best way. Join the United States Tennis Association. For a limited time, it's just $25 to become a new member. To join, just call 1-888-TRY-USTA or click on tryusta.com. You'll get closer to the game with preferred access and discounts on tickets to pro events throughout the country. You can play USTA League Tennis and have the opportunity to advance to a national championship, all for just $25. You'll also receive free subscriptions to tennis and USTA magazines. And this official US Open hat if you join now. Your membership also supports local programs in your community. So call 1-888-TRY-USTA. That's 1-888-TRY-USTA. Get closer to the game of tennis. Join the USTA today. Call 1-888-TRY-USTA now.
US Open Series? Road trip.
The greatest road trip in sports.
10 cities,
6 weeks.
$2 million on the line.
All broadcast live. Toronto,
New Haven.
DC,
LA. And then the US Open.
Don't miss a single stop.
What am I bringing?
My ambition, my brother.
The paparazzi.
And the U.S. Open Series will be bringing Lever 2000 to every stop. Lever 2000 with Vaseline lotion ingredients. It's the perfect match for your skin.
Lindsay Davenport is up by 6-5. She's serving for it now. When you look at this match in retrospect, and she was having no trouble on her serve, as we were saying, and then a few games ago that all changed. There've been 6 straight breaks of serve, so now it's just a question, can she hold on? L block, that's a Lindsay block.
She's taken over for James,
who won it last year and lost in the first round this year at the Pilot Pen. James Blake serving for the match.
The first couple points are critical.
Yeah, I know, of course, there have been unforced errors, but I think it's been a nicely played match from Lindsay, especially. She's going to look with her game. She's going to hit unforced errors. It's so precise. As Jimmy Arias was saying when we were watching her yesterday, that she doesn't have that much margin. Balanced by the fact that her game is so precise, so flat and so hard. Match points.
Thank you. Set match, Davenport by 2 sets to love. 6-4, 7-5.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Coming up, we will
It was a big match, as you said, Mary Jo, for both of them. Forget the X's and O's, but mentally, she has continued, Lindsay has, her domination over Mauresmo. And that means a lot.
It really does. To have a win now over the 2-time major winner this year is going to do a lot for Davenport, who now moves on to the semifinals, where she'll play Stosur of Australia. Lucky loser. Stosur ranked 36 in the world, had to qualify, lost in the last round, but got in when Shahar Peyer pulled out. And Stosur has a win over Davenport a couple weeks ago in a 3-setter. I think Davenport's playing better now, more consistently, and she'll be pleased, very pleased with this result.
Lindsay Davenport through straight sets over the world's top player.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan, big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer during the Cadillac Summer Event.
Shoot for the moon and shine with the stars at the 2006 MTV Video Music Awards. Live from New York City, the most extraordinary music event in the galaxy, with live performances by astonishing talent. The 2006 VMAs live Thursday, August 31st, 8 p.m. on MTV.
With an EPA estimated 30 highway MPG, the 06 HHR. Visit us at ChevyDealOnline.com.
ESPN2's presentation of the Pilot Pen, brought to you by Pilot Pen, simply right. USTA, find a court, find a partner, find a program, USTA.com. And Lever 2000 with Vaseline lotion ingredients, the perfect match to refresh and replenish your skin.
Welcome back to New Haven. Lots of Lindsay Davenport's fans have joined us outside at the Davenport, has locked up a spot in the semifinals here. Very predictable result of this match. After all, she's beaten Mauresmo 9 straight times now, but how she got there was certainly wacky. A second set that featured 6 consecutive service breaks. I mean, so much of how Lindsay feels about herself on the court and how much she evaluates her matches depends on how she serves, Mary Jo. So she may not be all that elated about how the second set unfolded, but a very satisfying result, beating the world number 1.
I think she's going to be really happy. I really do. I mean, remember, Mauresmo's coming off her Wimbledon title. Even though Lindsay owns her head-to-head, this was a huge matchup for Davenport. She served really well for a set and a half. And then I think the biggest thing for Davenport is she stayed positive. Even though she kept losing her serve, she'd bounce right back, kept applying the pressure on Mauresmo, and let's face it, she hits the ball so big that Mauresmo was on her heels the entire match.
I thought that was surprising, Cliff. We've seen her get down so often, and matches turn around quickly in the opposite direction because Davenport does get frustrated when she loses serve.
I just have to ask you, with our tennis crowd here, first of all, how do they compare with the football and the basketball and all the other stuff that you do? Are they good guys?
But enthusiastic. Okay. I think. A lot less body painting on this crowd back here than we used to for the football crowd.
Chris,
you ready for our precise point of the day, Cliff?
No, can I answer your other question first?
Okay. Yes, you can.
Look, the thing about Lindsay to me is that she was number 1 in the world just a short 12 months ago, in fact, at the Australian Open this year. And you tend to sort of lose sight of the fact that how good she has been for the last 5 years. Ends up 4 times at number 1 in the world. So she's going to be a huge factor at the US Open, make no mistake about it. And she's proved that today by taking out the number 1 player in the world. So you can say anything you like about her, the ups and downs of any particular match, but you keep an eye on her starting Monday.
I know you said that during the telecast.
Yes.
You really feel she got a great chance and a good draw to make some money.
Why, you don't think I say it then and I've changed my mind now already?
He's
She won a
consistent.
match.
He doesn't waver, Cliff.
I will keep an eye on her. Let's go to Jimmy Arias, get some post-match reaction from Lindsay.
Lindsay, congratulations. In just your 4th match since March, you beat the number 1 in the world, the Wimbledon champion. How'd you do it?
Yeah, you know, I thought I played really well the first set. The second set, I felt like, you know, the tennis wasn't as good and a lot of errors, but gosh, I didn't expect all this to come back. I really wanted to win one match here and, you know, really excited I'm in the semis.
What do you think's more difficult coming back? Is it physically or the mental part of the game that's more difficult?
You know, I've struggled physically just by, you know, things getting fatigued on the court, but, you know, you have to learn how to play play again and how to compete and what the big points are. But, you know, I feel like if my body's going to hold up, that things are pretty good.
Samantha Stosur next. You lost to her in your first match back. Any things for tomorrow?
I'm happy to get a chance to play her again. I did not like the way I played a few weeks ago, and I feel like if I'm playing better now, and if she wins but I'm playing great, then that's too good. But, you know, I'm happy to try my game again and see if I can do better.
All right, congratulations. Thanks a lot.
Classic event.
That was Lindsay's first match back. A lot of rust when she lost to Stosur in 3 sets. I think you'll see the progress. And, you know, if she's going to get and make a deep run at the U.S. Open, she may have to beat Justine Enardin. Now, that could be her first test of the U.S. Open. I think that's going to be the matchup in the final here. You got to like Lindsay to kind of turn the tables on Stosur, and I like Enardin out of the other half. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a preview.
No, I think the Enardin match is going to be huge. Look, Enardin's already won a slam this year. She wins the French Championships, played the final of the 2 others. So, because we were talking about that also, Chris. I mean, it's Enardin really in the race for #1 with Mauresmo.
Ready for our precise point of the day, presented by Pilot Pen?
Right. Absolutely. And it comes actually from Amelie Mauresmo. She was always trying to fight her way back, was down a break in the first set, then was always down a break in the second. And she scrambled. She played some great defense. She tried to mix it up. She tried to get some depth. And here she just comes up with an amazing running passing shot winner. The athleticism, the mobility, everything came into play in this point to give Mauresmo one of the best shots of the match. And the position for your Pilot Pen precise point of the day.
Now, Mauresmo's in the quarter of the U.S. Open that also features Martina Hingis. You've got Safina Ivanovic in there as well. Do you
Serena?
Yeah, Serena, right. A dangerous floater.
Absolutely.
Serena.
I mean, I think Mauresmo has a tougher section than most of the top players. But again, I think she's very confident. I think she takes it a day at a time. I don't think it'll phase her that she lost to Davenport again. But I think for Davenport, yes, it's going to give her an enormous boost. Yes, she made errors in the second set. But like you said, Cliff, she makes errors. That's her game. She goes for big shots. She's going to make mistakes. And we'll see that she fall.
But her good shots are so good.
Right.
By the way, you made the same mistake I did, Chris, because I'm looking at the draw there, you know, and if it's not in the big black, then you don't see it. And Serena Williams is lurking there. You cannot forget about her.
One thing out to answer your question, Cliff, the same thing this crowd and the football crowd, they love their FaceTime, and they're getting plenty of it here tonight.